And now we move on to my top 3 games, the ones that I've invested hundreds of hours into playing beyond the main objectives, starting with number 3, Mario Kart Wii. If I were making this list based on which games I enjoy currently, I would have put a different game from this franchise, but I had so many good experiences with the Wii edition that I had to choose it. The graphics of this game are actually quite impressive for a Wii game, with tons of detail oozing from every corner of each track. The tracks themselves are also fun for the most part, with very clever new designs as well as great choices for retro tracks. The big mechanic that was introduced in this edition was bikes, which were kind of overpowered. As such, the competitive scene chiefly featured Funky Kong on the Flame Runner / Bowser bike, or Daisy on the Mach bike, both of which combined speed with tight drifts to quickly move around the track. I was actually in the competitive scene for a while, and I had my share of clan wars. I'm not extremely good at the game, but what I can say is that it was the physics engine that kept the technical players coming back after the newer Mario Kart games came out. The physics allowed amazing shortcuts like these to be possible, as well as tons of other fun glitches and exploits, which no other Mario Kart game really has. And to prove how dedicated to the game people were, many people have created quite professional custom tracks, which were popularized by a hack for the Wii made by Mr. Bean 35,000 VR and Chatters. These two are also the masterminds behind the WiiMfi custom servers that are still running for this game and Brawl among others, after the official Nintendo servers shut down in May of 2014. This means that the community is still thriving, with many players continuing to play both the original tracks and the 200 plus custom tracks online with others. I hardly play this game anymore, but it was so fun while I did play it, and it's left such a big legacy on the community as a whole that I had to include it in the top 3. And yes, I did make videos about Mario Kart Wii on my channel before I made YTPs. We don't talk about those. The other game from this franchise I was considering is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is quite fun, especially on 200cc and on battle mode, but it's not nearly as constantly entertaining or nostalgic as the Wii version. Number 2, Super Smash Bros. 4 Wii U and 3DS. I know it's not Melee, but this game appeals to me much more because I was very young during the era of Melee, and now I'm competent enough to seriously learn a Smash game. This game is a masterful blend between the highly technical 20XX Melee and the very floaty Meta Knight dominated Brawl, still having good combos and strings but being easy enough for any player to pick up and learn competitively. The graphics are perfected in this game, being detailed but not realistic, and having a certain charm around them that we really haven't gotten since the original Smash on the N64. Playing with others is a blast, as it always has been, with the option of playing with up to 8 players on a wide variety of stages or their Final Destination-ized counterparts. Online is greatly improved from Brawl, with much better connections and many more modes to choose. Additionally, the competitive scene is still thriving, with the only true god of the game, Zero, having lost sets to many other players before he retired at the end of 2017. The balance, aside from Bayonetta not getting nerfed enough and some bottom tiers not getting buffed at all, is again the best in Smash 64, with most dominant characters having been nerfed to the level of everyone else, and tons of characters proving to be viable at top level play. The one place I will critique the game is one player, as we get this weird Angry Birds hybrid instead of Break the Targets. There's no story or adventure mode to be found, the challenges can be absolutely brutal, and the custom moves are aggravating to get. Also, the menu isn't designed that well, shoving tons of stuff into games and more, while giving Smash Tour, a joke of a party game that nobody plays except to unlock the Game & Watch stage, a spot on the main menu. However, Smash is supposed to be a multiplayer game, so these issues don't matter that much, and this game is still extremely fun in the other modes. I've played this game for so long that I've gotten pretty competent competitively with over half the cast, which I never thought I could do with a cast of almost 60 playable characters. Also, can we please ban Lilat soon? Thanks. The other game from the Super Smash Bros. Franchise I considered was Brawl, which improved on the one-player experience with Subspace Emissary and was very fun to play casually, but it was by far the least balanced game competitively. And I have to mention Ultimate, even though it hasn't been released yet, like I did with Super Mario Party, since it generated tons of hype and it looks like it'll be even better than Smash 4. Number 1. Little Big Planet 2. With an abundance of Nintendo games and some indie games on the list, you probably weren't expecting a Sony exclusive to make number 1, were you? Before I delve deep into this entry, I'm going to go over the other entry in the franchise I was considering first this time, so I can end the list on a good note. That game is Little Big Planet 3. It was so close to being even better than Little Big Planet 2 with the plethora of new features that were added, most notably increasing the number of layers from 3 to 16. But unfortunately, this ambition meant that the game was released in an extremely glitchy condition, and they still haven't fixed some of the worst glitches over 3.5 years after release. Because of this, I just didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I enjoyed Little Big Planet 2, a somewhat less ambitious but much more stable game. Anyway, on to Little Big Planet 2. This game's story is very short, only taking a few hours if you know how to play, but it's quite funny and entertaining while it lasts. And even for being so short, the story mode is still amazing, with tons of levels of various types, primarily platformers, that have fun, unique gameplay and great aesthetics. Here though, the story sets you up to find Create Mode, which is where this game truly shines. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be overwhelming, but there are plenty of funny tutorials voiced by the lovely Stephen Fry to help you understand. There are so many tools that this game has to offer that you can stick with traditional platformers, like I and several others chose to do, or you can make crazy machines to destroy the land, special sackbots that have magic abilities, retro-style games, cutscene levels, and even fully fledged RPGs if you're dedicated enough. Once your masterpiece is finished, you can share it to the world, where people can play it, like it, heart you, and leave feedback. When I was in middle school, this game occupied my life. I spent hundreds of hours playing, creating, and sharing levels on this game. I made lots of friends in this game, and I played tons of amazing levels that I couldn't rival if I wanted to. In fact, I made many platforming levels in the time I spent with this game, and while my old levels were horrible, I improved my usage of the layers and my aesthetic design to the point where I think my levels are pretty good. And with over 200 people giving me as a level creator a heart, and some of my levels getting thousands of plays, this game gave me my second biggest following behind my YouTube channel. The variety of level types you can make with the same basic tools is what makes this game such an amazing video game experience, and my favorite video game of all time. Thank you for watching, and for sticking with me through my long absences. Feel free to talk about these games or share your favorite games in the comments below, and I will hopefully see you all at some point in the future.